for the head coach of the Lipscomb Academy Mustangs, Kevin Mawai, who very anticipated, super excited to get this matchup. He made the comment earlier this week, Joe. He said, what a baptism into high school football. And, he's super, pumped about it, but doesn't shy away from the competition, but he's certainly ready for it, and you can certainly tell the fans are as well.
Yeah, when you get two big schools like this colliding, though, and both teams have these outstanding records, and both of them have been accomplished over the last couple of years, the crowd's going to be excited. But just imagine being a newcomer to this and seeing this type of atmosphere, and it's the first game that you're going to play on this level. It's got to get you excited and got to get you motivated to be the best you can be.
And this is a rough guess because I didn't count, but I would say that out of the 44 in both two deeps, 30 of them are getting Division I Power 5 looks. And, there's one kid, Jeremiah Douglas, who has Power 5 offers, but he wants to go to the Ivy League. He's on IMG side of things. So, again, the talent here is going to be immense, and it looks like that IMG will be getting the ball first. So we'll get to see the senior Jalen Bradford in that high-powered offense who loves to sling it around. 19 touchdowns for him last year as they went 8-1. They lost their first game, a very big upset to Miami Central, but they rolled after that to 8 straight wins to finish 2022 in 8-1 as Lipscomb again went 13-0. UNI actually did their second game of the year, IMG that is, against DeSmet Jesuit, and it was they took all that frustration of the loss out on DeSmet.
They did. We prepared for the game, and we saw Miami Central come out, and they did a variety of things that a young IMG team wasn't really ready for. But we saw how they self-corrected, and after they self-corrected, it was no looking back.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see. You will see either Donovan Olabode, Ellis Robinson the fifth, or Jeray Hawkins as the returners in the back. All depending on situations, according to head coach Billy Miller, who had a great time talking with him, and head coach Kevin Mawai. Kevin Mawai actually was trying to recruit my son to come to Lipscomb Academy. Told him they had a hockey program, a state title baseball program, and he said he would get him to love football because my son hadn't played it yet. He's only 8. But we will see. Maybe I'm moving to Nashville, Joe.
Leave no stone unturned.
I mean,
you never know what a kid's possible of developing into. I respect that 100%.
I will give my son credit, though. He did use a line from the movie Kicking and Screaming. He asked him if he knew Mike Ditka.
You got to use what you got.
Here we go. As you can see, crowd on their feet. Not a seat to be had here. Everybody's standing up as IMG and Lipscomb Academy getting set to meet. And you can just hear the atmosphere here. You can feel everything as we are just about set to get 2023 underway here in Nashville, Tennessee. Certainly glad you could join us here on Flow Sports. We'll just let you enjoy this one. And here's Thompson kicking off. And he puts toe to leather. Glad you could join us. Here's the kick to the near side of the 10. And look at the speed there to the 30. And he's finally caught from behind. And that was none other than Ellis Robinson the fourth, one of the top players in the country. He's going to Georgia.
Yeah, you talk about exciting. Ellis Robinson is one of those guys who is exciting, as he was featured as one of our players to watch. And as we have a penalty on the play, IMG's field position is going to be affected.
Yeah, you just saw the official putting the hold signal down. And so IMG will start 10 yards from that penalty. So it looks like they'll start at about the 20. And we await for the Tennessee State Athletic Association officials. Now a sideline warning is being offered on also either way. So here comes, they'll start at the 20. Jaden Bradford, the quarterback. with 3 receivers to your near side. Jonathan Eccles, that's the tight end in motion, 4-star recruit. And the first play is a handoff to Jarrett Gibson, the Texas commit. And he is wrapped up for a loss. And there was a host of defenders in there. Chris Thompson, another flag thrown on the play. Chris Thompson, the will linebacker, was the young man that came up, fired up. And we'll see what the call is here.
Looked like it might have been a face mask on the tackle as the running back's head got jerked a little bit.
And so that'll, I think they picked it up.
No, they gave him the 5 yards. He didn't yank him down with it, so they gave him the 5 yard.
5-yard face mask. Moves it to the 24-yard line. And there's the handoff to Gibson again. He gets to the 30. And scuffle already breaking up, a 3rd consecutive flag.
Well, you know both of these teams are fired up right now, and that time looked like a little extracurricular by the Lipscomb player as the IMG player was on the ground. I don't know if they caught the second man or what, because I didn't see it all the way through. But it'll be interesting to see how they rule on this one.
And again, they'll probably just call it on both sides and then just keep it moving.
Could be.
But 3 plays and 3 penalties.
Yeah, IMG's coming out and trying to establish the line of scrimmage. We saw them do that after the Miami Central game last year, where the next game they came out and they made a clean-cut decision. They were going to run the football and establish themselves up front.
So here we go. Let's see what the call is. As the official forgot to turn his mic on last time. Hopefully he will have it on this time. Or a call will be made. And you're going to call on sportsmanlike conduct on both the defense and the offense. Here's what happened after the play. Oh, I could see what that happened there. Jordan Seaton and let's see who that other young man was. It looked like it was Nate Morton who was in on the play that caused the penalty. Either way, it's offsetting. And it's 1st and 10 from the 30. Bradford, ball's tipped away, incomplete.
Oh man, the celebration might have cost them.
Did they just get a flag?
Yeah, they did, and that would have been 4th down, and I think they got a flag on the celebration.
4 plays, 4 penalties. He's busy.
He called it on the wrong side, though.
He's a little busy here today. I don't know. He did point the other way.
Yeah, he pointed the other way, but I think he meant to call it on the defense. Oh, no, they're backing him up.
Wow.
I missed something then. Wow, I thought it was because they were celebrating. He threw the flag. I don't think he meant to go that way with it.
Maybe something was said.
Yeah, he's pointing the other way now. Yeah, he messed that one up. I was, wait a minute, I didn't see anything. Like, why would they be celebrating and they threw an incompletion? Okay, yeah, they got it right now. That's what the offensive lineman had to go to and say, sir, I think he went the wrong way. And it's got to be hard for these kids because they watch, these NFL players after a big play run into the end zone and celebrate and do stuff. I mean, there's an element of fun that needs to be had, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that 15-yard penalty makes it 1st and 10 at the 45. Bradford play action. Time to throw. Dart across the middle. Woo! It's caught. 30 to the 25, 20. He's open all the way. Touchdown! Jeray Hawkins, the fastest man in the state of Florida with the touchdown. And IMG, 2 minutes ago, was back at their own end zone. A 15-yard penalty cost them. It's now a 55-yard touchdown. Bradford to Hawkins. And the Ascenders take the 6-0 lead.
Yeah, nice route combination that time. You got 2 posts from the inside receivers as they crisscrossed a little bit in the middle of the field with a high post on the upside to clear out the safety, and he came underneath, and we saw the speed after the catch. That man got wheels.
He's an extremely talented track and field. As the extra point, you will see Patrick Kane kick the extra point. But this crowd, which we couldn't even get to, we didn't even get to the keys of the game, and IMG just did one of them.
They did.
Take the crowd out of it.
Take the crowd out of the game. That's what you got to do on the road. You got to get rid of them early.
We'll get you the next time they get the ball. We'll get you those as the extra point for IMG is up. And it's good. So, we're about 3 minutes into this one. IMG 7, Lipscomb Academy nothing. You're watching Friday Night Football right here on Flo Sports. And welcome back here to the Lipscomb Academy Athletic Complex here in Nashville. We are live and seeing a fireworks type ball game as IMG threw the first punch in this knock 'em out, drag 'em out bout. 55-yard touchdown to Jeray Hawkins. And that's a young man, 4-star recruit headed to Florida. Billy Napier's getting himself a baller.
He is.
And that was just a sloppy drive to begin with, but Billy Miller and his squad, they struck first, and he said he felt like there was some plays like that were going to be there just because of his team's speed, but he also knows on the other side that could be the case as well.
Yeah, and one of the things they did that good to set it up was the running early in the drive. So when you come back with a little bit of a quick play action, you get that safety to peak a little bit, and you got guys who can run as fast as their receivers can. That 1 second could be all the difference in the world in a big play.
Dylan Lorick, one of the returners, back. You may see Bo Strickland or Caleb Beasley as well, as Patrick Kane will kick off from right to left. Here's the deep kick, end to end, and that'll be caught on the near side, actually dropped at the 16. He's got a seam. There's no short of fireworks here in this one. It's Dylan Lorick all the way to the 30-yard line. We'll see if there's any flags because there's been one on every play. As Dylan Lorick will start things off at the 30 for the Mustangs as they are off and running. And a great return there by that young man.
An excellent job on the return, and the bobble might have actually helped him a little bit because it gave us guys a little bit more time to get into blocking position before he took off, and he was able to make a good play.
Again, here's the keys of the game for the Lipscomb Academy.
Yeah, take those emotions out of the game, let Bradford and company ball out, and try to out-athlete Lipscomb.
The quarterback is Deuce Knight. Deuce Knight going to Notre Dame as he'll hand it off on the draw to Drew Patterson. A running back for the Mustangs. He'll get from the 30 to the 20, looks like inside of the 22-yard line. So 8 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 2. As Deuce Knight, 6'4", 195 pounds. Number 6 in the country. Number 6 in Tennessee. The 10th best quarterback in the country as Andy Smith in motion. Again, they're going to hand it off to Drew Patterson. He'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. He maybe lost some yardage, it looks like.
Yeah, IMG actually had a run blitz on to the side the play was going to. So maybe it's a formation tendency they noticed something from last year in their film preparation, but they were ready for that play, and they did a good job of standing up at the line of scrimmage, and now they put Lipscomb in the third and medium opportunity, so we'll see what they can dial up on offense.
Yeah, so it looks like it's 3rd and 7. As they actually started at the 25. And so here's Knight, the lefty, stepping up in the pocket, and he is wrapped up and brought down. And he'll be short of the first down as the defense, Nathaniel Owosu-Boateng, 4-star recruit headed to either Auburn or Florida, one of the most explosive linebackers that Coach Miller has ever seen. And he was comparing him to Dylan Moses, who went to Alabama.
Oh, wow, that's a great comparison. If your coach compares you to someone like that, then you know you can ball.
All right, here's the opportunity for, looks like, Kofi Boggs. He'll try the kick. And that is through the uprights and good. Both teams get on the board on their first drive, but IMG holds Lipscomb to 3 as we are midway through the first quarter. 7-3 the score. We'll take a timeout. Back after this. And welcome back, 7-3, the Ascenders in white ahead in this one. This is game number 1 of the season for both teams as we're just about at the midway point. As IMG traveled 742 miles from Bradenton, Florida to Nashville, and this battle is back and forth, and the kick is deep. It's going to be brought out to the 25-yard line. And the returner there was Alton Marks, the sophomore defensive back, getting the opportunity there. And here comes the Ascender offense, who really struggled, minimal yardage on the run attack, but then a 55-yard touchdown. A strike to Jere Hawkins as they'll start from the 23-yard line.
You got to suspect you're going to see more of the run offense, though, because that's their bread and butter. They're going to try to pound that ball, control the clock, play good defense, and when those big opportunities present themselves, they don't miss.
They probably feel like it's kind of cool here tonight, too, considering how hot it's been in Bradenton as of late. And just a handoff right to Gibson, and Gibson, he'll lose yardage there, back to the 20-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, that's what play the quarterback has to get you out of. They were outflanked on that side. There was one more defender than people they could block with the formation and what they ran.
You'll see 2 to the right now, 1 to the left, 2 to the top of your screen at home. They'll be in the pistol formation. Jonathan Eccles is the tight end in the H-back position, right beside Hawkins. Bradford, the Liberty commit, play action. They'll dump it off on the flats to Eccles, and Eccles gets to the 30 in a collision there. What a hit. And a good defensive play there by CJ Jim Colley, a 3-star recruit, number 8 defensive back in Tennessee for 2025.
Yeah, excellent job of running the alley. A lot of times people take bad angles of pursuit. He kept himself in the hip pocket and was able to deliver a shot And now they're in third and short yardage situation.
And the line to gain is the 33. Here we go. And that's a fumble as Bradford, maybe a little miscommunication with him and Gibson. And he's able to fall on it, and they'll lose yardage. Looks like back to the, we'll see where they mark it. And here's the other look. Yep, they just miscommunicated. And he fell on it right at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, he kept it in the running back's pocket a little too long, and the running back says, if you keep it that long, it's mine. And when he tried to pull it, they were fighting each other. And lucky for them, that ball didn't get recovered by Lipscomb.
And now they'll send out the punting unit. Joseph Collins has been listed as the punter, at least on the 2 deep. We'll see if he does that here. You may see on the return here.
Oh, he's sending them out of the game because of his knee pads.
And now somebody else has to come in to kick. And it looks like they're going to send in Patrick Kane to do that. You got to have the right equipment. And we'll see who's back to return the kick, whether it's Strickland, Lorick, or Beasley. As he'll punt from the 14-yard line. And it's not a pretty one. It bounces right to Beasley. Beasley cut down right behind the midfield stripe where he got to the 49. And so that's where the Mustangs will start. Again, you take away that 55-yard play. Now, that's football for you, but you take away that 55-yard play, it's been pretty much a tone set by Lipscomb Academy.
It has been. They played well defensively. They've been in good spots. Their special teams have outplayed IMG up until this point as well with the field goal and the returns.
Looks like there was a penalty, and there will be. So they'll move him back to the, it's probably 10 yards back. Back to the 45-yard line, or 5 yards back. So they'll start at the 45 after that penalty. So they'll have it 1st and 10. A little bunch formation to the top of your screen. Deuce Knight, the lefty. He'll hand it off and just met in the backfield immediately. That was none other than Gavin Nix, the 4-star recruit. Committed to Florida, one of the top 25 linebackers in the class of 2025. Both these teams they're all loaded, but the junior class for these teams is unreal.
Yeah, both. IMG had a really young squad last year, and those guys have grown up, and now you see it materializing with the experience now.
And there's the pass dumped off in the flats. They read it perfectly as Taylor Lindsay, the defensive end, was there. And that pass is incomplete to Patterson.
Yeah, that was a good drop because that was going to end up in another 5 or 6 yard loss.
And so it'll be 3rd down.
It's like 3rd and about 12.
3rd and 12.
Another trips open formation.
So they'll be to the near side as Knight back to throw. He's got to step up with it. Now he'll run. He's got plenty of room. He gets the 1st down easily. And as dynamic as we've heard, he made that look really easy. Like he was jogging. And he'll move to the 1st down as he'll move the chains. Just taking a look.
Yeah, one of the things that made it good, he hitched, but then he stayed square. And you couldn't tell if he was going to throw it when he first stepped up in the pocket. And he saw that it was man coverage, one man to beat it, and he took off.
As there's a slant to Lorick, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, he took a peek up. He thought maybe somebody might be lurking because he saw that it was cover 3 that he was running underneath, and he knew there would be a linebacker sitting there, and it was. That one, taking his eye off the ball, that 1 second cost him the catch.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Here's the handoff. They try to cut up. That's none other than Patterson. And Patterson, again, if you have to do that, they strung him out, and he tried to cut it up, and he could go nowhere. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
Yeah, good gap control defense that time. The outside end or outside backer, as that time they were in a 3-4 over. The outside backer comes in and sets the edge and does a really good job of setting the edge, and it allowed the linebackers to stay in their gaps and pursue and fill it up, and there wasn't anywhere for the running back to go.
And Patterson held to no yards on the play. It'll be second down, or rather third down and 10. And there's the screen attempt there on the flats, and he can't get him there. And that should be third down now. And no, that's going to be fourth down, and the pass incomplete. And they'll send out the punting unit here, as they'll be punting in good field position so they can pin IMG deep here. The second punt of the night for Cole Schumann. And here's the punt by Schumann. It's a high one. And the fair catch is made at the 11 or 12-yard line by Donovan Olabade. And we're going to stay right here as this game is crawled to a snail's pace, so to speak, in that both teams have kind of settled in.
Yeah, what you'll find, though, is both of these teams are making a lot of mistakes early. It's early in the season. They're trying to find a rhythm. And most of them, all they played in the scrimmages, so they haven't played a lot of consecutive plays. So trying to find that rhythm on offense and defense is going to be a little bit tougher. Typically, you hope for a big play, and IMG's been fortunate enough to have one of those. Lipscomb has yet to find one of those yet.
And Jarek in motion. They're going to send him out to the flats here, and he is just knocked down immediately. Great defensive play there. Nate Morton. He's listed as the linebacker, more of a jack guy, so he's outside, but he did a tremendous job there of cutting that play off. And that's a loss of 2.
Yeah, he's a hybrid type guy. He could be a safety or a linebacker. He does a good job in space, and that time we saw him get underneath the receiver and come up and make a nice tackle.
So second and 12. Little stop route to the outside, and that's caught at the 20. That's going to be none other than Jeray Hawkins. 10-yard pass. Make it third down and 2. Down to the final 5 minutes of the quarter. Bradford in the pistol formation, checking things out, looks over at his offensive coordinator. The crowd certainly getting into it here. Third down and short. Again, hand off to Gibson. He's got a seam, gets the first down, spins out of one tackle, and he'll get just shy of the 30-yard line. I think they'll mark him at the 28.
Yeah, excellent job that time of staying with it. He got hit right around the line of scrimmage, spun out of it a little bit, and got downhill to get the extra couple of yards to get the first down. But an excellent job by Lipscomb as well. They were in position. They just were unable to make the tackle at behind the line of scrimmage.
So it'll be first and 10 at the 28. Back in the 4-receiver formation. And Santana Alo got a chance to pick up his mouthpiece as it fell out of his mouth. He's one of the offensive linemen. Here's the keeper by Bradford. He'll cut it up. And he is hit after about a 7-yard gain to the 35.
Well, a nice job that time of holding it out. We've seen him run that play about 4 or 5 times and give it to the back. That time he pulled it and booted out to the backside and was able to get underneath a good block by the left tackle and pick up positive yards on the play.
And again, they'll bring trips to the right side. It's second down and short. Gibson still the back of the backfield to the right. Bradford, quick throw to Olabade. Olabade gets a good block, and he'll get the first down. Good job there by Hawkins as he's out of bounds. And it looks like they're going to mark him at the 30, or rather the 44-yard line. And they will. So a gain of 9.
Yeah, nice job playing the numbers game that time. They had 4 receivers to that wide side of the field, and they were able to put together a package to get the receiver the ball out there. And with 3 blockers in front of him, he was able to make it happen.
And they're just nickel and diming their way down the field. Gibson gets the draw, handoff. He's got it to 50.
Goodbye.
Has a seam to the 30, 20, 10, 5. Give him 6. Jarrett Gibson on the board, and it's 13-3. IMG storming out in front.
Talk about staying with it. They hadn't had a lot of success running the football today. They've probably gotten about 2 or 3 yards a clip. And you can see right here, when he gets the ball going downhill, he does a good job of getting behind the big tackle. Tackle gets up to the second level, and then he shows you the wheels as he steps out. And that's one of the things about this IMG team. Whoever gets the football can take it to the house at any time.
There are 2 drives for touchdowns, 5 plays, 80 yards, now 7 plays, 88 yards, and they're looking for another extra point. As that was a 44-yard touchdown run by Jarrett Gibson. What a beautiful play there. And it is 14-3 in favor of IMG. Back after this on Flow Sports. Here from Nashville, Joe Simmons, the color analyst. I am Chris Hooks. It's a balmy 82 degrees here tonight in Nashville. Slight wind at 8 miles an hour, 46% humidity. I'm surprised some of the IMG players don't have long sleeves on, Joe.
Yeah.
30 degrees difference in the field. What they felt a couple days ago at practice on their turf. Here's the deep kick. And IMG, again, swallows up the returner, and that's none other than Caleb Beasley. Decent return, gets to the, look like past the 30 to the 32-yard line. See if that's where they put it. Either way, Joe, if you're Lipscomb, you need a touchdown.
You do. They need to put some, at least get points on the board, but they need to have some success offensively. They haven't had a lot of success outside of the one good run by the quarterback on the third down play. Other than that, they've been pretty limited in the passing game. They've tried to throw some check downs to the running back, and he's dropped a few. And then some of them have been high passes that wouldn't have netted any yardage anyway.
Yeah, check that. It was to the 27. As they'll do a keeper by Deuce Knight. Knight pushed out of bounds after a 3-yard gain. So it'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 30.
Yeah, design quarterback run that time because Knight has had some success. And because the running game has been stifled, they figured that they'd do a little misdirection, try to keep that backside a little honest, and maybe it'll open up some opportunities for the running game.
2 stack formations on each side. Knight pressured. He's going to step up, and he's going to run with it. He gets minimal yardage, and he's slung out of bounds. And a great job there by Gavin Nix. How many times have we seen players just do it, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to, sling him down, but he held up.
Yeah, he did a good job. He could have easily turned on him, but he let him go when he pulled him back. And as he started to go down, he kind of tried to hold him up a little bit to keep him from falling and let the referee know that he was trying to help him and not hurt him.
So here we go. It's 3rd down, and the line to gain is the 37. They're at the 34. There's a little slant route to the young man, the slot receiver, Jack Westlake. He gets the 1st down. That's a nice play there as Coach Mawai called him his Julian Edelman type as he gets to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, he came in there with no fear that time, running that inside route. A lot of times you know that linebacker is going to be sitting down. Looks like they got a little penalty on the back end of the play, too.
And, yep, they're going to add more yards to that. And that moves them into Ascender territory. That must have been of the 15-yard variety all the way to the 43-yard line, 42-yard line.
Well, this is the type of drive they needed, and they just need to finish with some points.
There's Knight and company. They're moving the ball into IMG territory. There's the screen, and Micah Burton was tripped up, but a great play by Gavin Nix as he has been everywhere here to start this ball game.
Young man is fun to watch. When you watch him every play, he's making the right read. He's stepping up. He's shooting the gaps when he sees plays that are coming to his side. Excellent job of anticipating, but you can see how active he is, even making checks on defense.
So 2nd and 11 from the 43-yard line. Again, they're trying everything to take their speed and use their speed against IMG, but it's not working to this far. And a timeout is called, and we'll take one with them as well. We are down to the final minute and change of the first quarter. IMG 14, Lipscomb Academy 3, and you're watching Flow Sports. As there will be play number 6 of the drive. And it just seems like IMG has just really had them at arm's length. They'll come out in the pistol formation here as we're down to the final minute, 2nd and 11. And again, jet penetration of the backfield. All the way back. They're going to lose yardage to the 49-yard line.
Yeah, you don't want to give IMG an opportunity to put you in long yardage situations, especially when you haven't had a lot of success throwing the football downfield, and they just allowed that. And it was a good timeout by IMG as they didn't have the personnel on the field that they needed for the formation that Lipscomb came out in, and they came back and made an adjustment. And you can see right away that they're going to try to make things tough for Lipscomb in this endeavor.
Well, they certainly are. Taylor Lindsay and David Stone are just dominating up front right now. And that looks like a timeout is called. And it will be called by Lipscomb Academy as TJ Lindsay also plays basketball. Again, just the athleticism David Stone is showing. That young man is number 2 defensive lineman in the country. He's actually on commit watch. Next Saturday, he's supposed to announce where he's going.
Sweet.
Miami, Florida, Michigan State, Oklahoma, or Oregon.
Got a lot of good choices on that list. I wouldn't be surprised to see him as a Cane, though.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of kids. They've gotten a number of kids from IMG. Offensive lineman last year.
Just the opportunity to have people that you know in driving distance, too.
3rd and 17, Knight pressured, and he'll just dump it off. Burton can not get anywhere. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. I think they'll give him a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
An excellent job that time of running the alley, and pretty good play execution as well in a long yardage situation. You're expecting more pressure. It didn't happen, but IMG now in a situation where Lipscomb may want to go for it because of field position. Maybe not a lot to gain with a punt, but they got some time to think about it.
No, they do, because it's the end of the first quarter, and IMG leads it 14-3. We'll step aside, take a timeout, come right back. You're watching Flow Sports. And we are just about waiting here to get the second quarter underway. And they've called both teams over to the sidelines either way. Chris Hooks and Joe Simmons here. And Joe, through the first quarter, it seems like it's been IMG Academy with the big plays.
Yeah, their big play talent has stepped up big, and some of the players we expected to see do big things have stepped up and done big things. Lipscomb has yet to find that niche on offense, and they're still trying to work their way through the process. But we know this team is explosive, and at any moment they can put points on the board.
So Lipscomb will punt from their 45-yard line. You can see IMG in the punt safe formation. They smell a fake too. And Schulman simply just boots it. And a little bit of kerfuffle here. And we'll see if I thought for a second he was able to keep it in, but it'll be a touchback. And so IMG will start from the 20. And a good job there by Lipscomb to at least try to get down there. But they certainly did what they could to run over Olabode. Here's another look.
Almost made the play, but the second guy who touched it was definitely in the end zone when he touched it.
Good look there by our cameraman here. So IMG has started on the 20-yard line in every drive today. They've got 2 drives of 80 yards already. They actually started the 12 on their second touchdown drive. They ended up getting to the 20 thanks to a 10-yard pass. So there we go. So 1st and 10 from the 20. Gibson, already a 40-plus yard run. He'll get a 1-yard run up the gut. So he's 2nd down and 9 from the 21.
Yeah, we talked about how effective his Lipscomb's defense has been. Except for a couple of big plays, they've been pretty solid. But big playability is a special thing to have on this level, and IMG has plenty of it.
Bradford, he's throwing. Going to be pressured. He'll step up, finds a seam. He's going to run with it. He's going to be chased to the 30. Gets out of bounds. And Bradford falls into the track. And it was a good hit. It wasn't late or anything. And he goes out of bounds. I think he should have a 1st down.
Yeah, he did a good job of avoiding the bleachers as he was coming out that way too. And I think he kind of gave himself up a little bit after he got pushed so that he wouldn't run into him.
So he gets big yardage. The 21 all the way to the 9, 18 yards. 1st and 10 from the 39 now. Good run there. Again, he broke contain and made Lipscomb pay. Two to the left, one to the right, and a tight end on the near side. Here's Bradford. He's going to be sacked. What a play. A bullet came out of nowhere. The junior, Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson with a late surge that time. Looked like it was going to be a big play, and then he showed up, and all the lights went out as Bradford comes around.
Yeah, good job there by Thompson. 6'1", 215 pound. And that was all the way back to the 32-yard line. Loss of 7 on the play. So it'll be 2nd and 17 from the 32. Going from left to right, here's Bradford. A little draw up the middle. Gibson gets most of it back, and then some to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, I guess that's the shotgun equivalent of sprint draw, because the quarterback held it, then handed it off. And instead of getting your quarterback scrambling running on those lanes, you give it to a guy who's used to running in those lanes. And we saw the big playability as he picked up about 12 yards on the carry.
It's a big play right here, Joe. 3rd and 8 from the 41. They got to get a 3 and out, because this has been the money area for IMG to make big plays.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a run called right here as well.
There's a 1st and 10, and the 44-yard touchdown happened. Here's Bradford, pressured. He gets out of it. He'll let it go. That might have been close to pass the line. Either way, a little bit high as Winston Watkins gets his first look tonight. And it'll be 4th down.
It looked like a pretty good ball. Receiver Mayer should have caught it, but an excellent job of pressing it to the line of scrimmage. You see the quarterback moving up, weighed his way down the line, and threw a pretty good ball. Just a little bit high, a little bit inside. If he was able to get that to the front shoulder, it would have been an easy catch.
So it'll be 4th down. They will get the punt. That's a big stop by Lipscomb Academy.
Like the effort by the receiver, though. He made sure that he got a hand on it and at least knocked it down so that it wasn't intercepted.
So
false start.
looks like that'll move things back.
For the lead game.
So a delay of game moves things back. And here's the punt. And that one's shanked out of bounds. Let's see where it went. Here comes the official. I love the walk up. And it'll be out of bounds at the 41.
Yeah, maybe not such a bad thing either, because the defense has played well, but you don't want to give them an opportunity in the return game to make big plays.
So the IMG defense has been dominant throughout. This is the best starting field position of the day, other than the first possession. Yep, when they started at the 45. Here's Knight, the lefty, rolling out to the far side. Lets it rip, and it's caught. Guess who? Jack Westlake, hands of glue, 2nd catch of the night. Out of bounds at the 37.
The difference between him and the other receivers that have been coming across the middle is he's not worried about the contact.
22 yards on the play. Be 1st and 10. Or rather that's from the, let me see the yardage there. I think it was the 44-yard line. 43-yard line, rather. So a gain of 16. And the whistle blows. I think they stop play for a second. Now they'll let him set back up for second down. And here comes Knight. He's shuffled around, pump fakes, and he'll just try to slide down. Gets to the 42-yard line, maybe a yard there as he was brought down from behind.
Yeah, he's more of a glider than a guy that's just going to take off. You could tell he's keeping his eyes downfield. He runs straight up. He's going to need to get his pad level down once he gets past the line of scrimmage in some of those runs if he wants to last throughout the season.
Second down, and now it's third down.
It's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, 3rd and 9 now. From the 42. They're going to send Beasley in motion. Across the middle. That is caught. And the East Carolina commit, Dylan Lorick, with the first down.
Yeah, excellent ball, excellent delivery that time on the square end. And the receiver did an excellent job of bringing it into the body before the contact to hang on to that. Pretty good defense as well.
So 1st and 10 from the 31 now. Dylan Lorick, again, 6'1", 215 pounds. He's the 48th, number 48 recruit in the state of Tennessee. As Kevin Mawai and his team trying to get back in this one. And the pass is incomplete.
A little bit behind the receiver on that one. He just needed to get rid of it. Didn't like the positioning and just got rid of it on the outside, throwing it out of bounds, but close enough to the receiver that they wouldn't call it a penalty.
So 2nd down and 10. 6th play of the drive. As they'll have 2 receivers, now 3 to the right side. That new receiver's Bo Strickland, an extremely good baseball player. Tim Corbin, the head coach at Vandy, has been watching him. And there's a slant across the middle, a little bit out of the reach of Lorick, and it's luckily knocked down incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, that was an illegal formation too. All 3 receivers on the top side were in the backfield. So there were at least 5 men in the backfield, but it wasn't called.
So the line to gain is the 21. They have yet to get the purple zone. That big purple square down, a rectangle down to our left. They need to get in there to make this a ball game. Down 14-3 as we're right at the 7.5-minute point of this second quarter. 5 receivers out. Knight, plenty of room, dumps it off. And that'll be right at the first down marker. What a great job by TJ Briggs. The effort to get the first down.
He's going to be close. Well, they were already in field goal range, but they're definitely
oh,
in
wow,
field
he's
goal
short.
range now.
They're going to say he's short.
Yeah, he's about a half a yard short.
So they mark him down to the 22.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if them to let it run down and get a timeout here.
And so the line to gain is the 21. It'll be 4th and 1. We're going to keep it right here. As if you're Kevin Mawai, do you go for it here?
You got to go for it when you're playing a high-profile team in this situation. The points sound good, but you know you're going to need points and be able to match points throughout the game. So you want to come out of here this drive, especially with it being the most successful drive you had so far in the game with a touchdown if you can.
It'll be 4th down and 1 at the 22. Again, you can see there's so many people here at the game. They're almost pulling over the stanchion. And the kids better be careful here because somebody's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully one of the game administrators will see that here. I mean, they're 5 deep, 10 deep on some areas.
Yeah.
It's the biggest game this school's ever seen. That's what this school wanted when they put the football program together. Trent Dilfer was the head coach. He's now at UAB. Knight trying to quarterback sneak. And they'll get it easily to the 19-yard line. They spread them out. 3 yards on the play. 1st and 10 from the 19. They're finally in the red zone here.
Yeah, you get an athletic quarterback. A lot of teams have figured out it's better to get on up there and run that play and allow him to be the athlete and push. Surprised that they didn't have at least one back behind him to help with the push down the field.
They're really spread out of the near side here. Trips, Knight. He's going to roll out as he's pressured. Knight, and that's nearly picked off as Major Preston Jr., the nickel back, almost picked that one off as it was dumped off to TJ Briggs. That would have been his 2nd catch of the game. So 2nd and 10, 10th play of the drive here for Lipscomb. If they score a touchdown on this end,
the crowd's going to go crazy.
You may have to. They may tear down those stanchions.
I like it though. They're standing. They're alert. They're into it. They're
Absolutely.
looking for something big.
Here's Knight, pressured, and he's just going to be swallowed up. And it's just too much talent there. Dylan Worthen, David Stone, TJ Lindsay, all swallow him up. And they'll move it back all the way. Big loss there as it's now 3rd down and long as it's all the way back to the 27, 8-yard loss.
And you got to think this is probably the most athletic defensive line that these offensive linemen have seen. It's hard to simulate that in practice, and even for a quarterback, you're used to stepping up and boxing and lanes are opening up, but when all 4 guys are getting pressure the way they are, it makes it hard to step up and throw the football.
And the official, there's a timeout being called, offensive coordinator. There's 5:20 left. They've had some clock issues here today. Now they're calling a delay of game as Kevin Mawai arguing his case here. And to no avail. So it'll be 3rd down and 23 from the 32. So they got to get to the 10-yard line. 23 yards. And another whistle blows.
Delay a game again, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, he's upset, but the whistle blew. That was a long time from whistle to whistle. They've got to do a better job of getting the plays in, a quicker job anyway.
And they'll call a timeout here. And you got to wonder, again, this is your home stadium, what the problem is. To get 2 delay of games.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's not getting the play in. I don't know if he's thinking it should have been reset.
Well, it was the 2nd time, and they took a long time. Like, he was arguing. I watched him arguing, but I was just sitting here thinking, like, they're getting close to another delay of game because it's taking them too long to get to the line of scrimmage after the play's in. They're standing around, but then they're walking to the line. They're not in a position to go faster. And those are some of the things that the first game will iron out. Like, you've got to figure that out, how to get there, because even if the time is a little quick, there's an official on the field that's got a clock running too.
Yeah.
So he's going to look at his clock versus that clock, and he'll let them know that it's not right.
You know, I was watching on ESPN a game in Nashville between Vandy and Notre Dame, and Vandy had a 3rd and 45, and they scored a touchdown.
Anything's possible.
I'm just saying. Now, they lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy lost. I think they ended up losing like 13-10. or 14 to 10.
They need at least 6 yards to get in field goal position, judging from the first kick of the game where he kicked it. It looked like it would have been good for about 53
Do you think they quick kick here?
No, I think it's just third down. I think they run a play here.
You're right.
So
you're right.
I think they try to get at least 5 or 6 yards so they can get into field goal range.
We'll see. They've got 4 receivers on the near side. Knight just going to run a screen. And again, that defense is just so good. Wow, Jaden Jackson and Dylan Lorick can go nowhere. It's maybe a few yards.
Yeah, you're talking about a D1 wide receiver getting run down by a defensive lineman right there.
So they mark him at the 33, 4 yards on the play. So it'll be 4th and 24 from the 33. And I think they're just going to, they're probably going to get another delay.
Yeah, they're taking too much time. That's on them, like, to get it off. And they still don't have the right personnel on the field. There's still 2 people missing. Well, they're going to punt it.
Yep.
Well, you can take delay here if you're going to punt it.
And here's the punt. Let's see if they can force them to go deep. And that's a good punt. That'll put IMG back all the way to the 8-yard line. So a terrible situation for the offense. Gets no points, but they do get a consolation prize here by pinning IMG all the way back to the 8-yard line. 14-play drive.
Yeah, that and the fact that they ran 14 plays and was able to give their defense a rest, who's been being pressured most of the night by having to holding IMG to 14 points as much time as they spent on the field is pretty impressive as well. Outside of a couple of big plays, they've outplayed them.
40 yards all the way down to the 19 minus 14. So they gained 26 yards on that drive total. So IMG will start with 4:15 to go from the 8-yard line, 1st and 10. They're just going to hand it off to Gibson. And he busts forward outside the 10, probably to the 14-yard line. And he came, it looked close. He had a big hole, Joe.
Yeah, he did, and he was 1 man away from taking that one to the house.
And you as a former running back probably, I'm sure your eyes got real big seeing that.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be gone for a second, and the safety came in just in time.
So they'll mark him at the 14. 2nd and 4. Bradford, all kinds of time. Dumps it off to the 20. Olabode to the 30. So a 1st down. They're just going to move those chains. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Olabode, one of the top receivers on this team, taking the place of Carnell Tate, who went to Ohio State and is tearing it up there. Olabode, a junior. Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, and Georgia Tech trying to fight for this 3-star recruit. Gibson being very patient. Breaks 1 tackle. Spins out of another. And it gets all the way to the 32-yard line. That was a magical run for 2 yards.
It really was. He was in a situation where it was going to be a 3 or 4 yard loss, and he turned it into 2 yards with excellent athleticism.
And Gibson, we haven't seen a lot of Anthony Rogers or Tyson Park. It's been Jarrett Gibson, who ran for 600-plus yards last year. You see Winston Watkins, the Colorado commit, 4-star. Want to play for Coach Prime. They're going to send the tight end in motion. That's Brady Correll. And Watkins across the middle. And he gets a minimal gain on 2nd and short. 2nd and 8, rather. Might have been 2 yards. I think they gave him to the 34. And they will. It'll be 3rd down and 6 from the 34. And it's another big 3rd down for this IMG offense. And Lipscomb trying to keep their fans in this one. You can see the defense getting set. Here's Bradford on 3rd down. Dump it straight across the seam, right down the seam to Olabode for the 1st down.
talking about dropping dimes. That time he threw that one down the middle. When you have a coverage like that, you've got to throw it just over the inside coverage's head. But before the safety can get there, he dropped it on him, and he's like one man away from getting breaking another touchdown.
And that was a 27-yard catch there. Ola Abode, just a phenomenal player. Bradford, a heck of a quarterback as well. Here's Watkins on the screen. And he breaks one tackle. He gets to the 30. Has one man on the outside, luckily getting him out of bounds. As that's Cole Bradley, the cousin of Deuce Knight. And he is deep into Mustang territory all the way to the 20, 19 yards there. The 1st and 10 from the 20. 46 yards in the last 2 plays.
Yeah, this IMG offense seems rested and ready to go, too.
21-yard line, rather, as we're down under 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Big series here. They got to get a stop if you're Lipscomb Academy. Bradford, he's going to be tracked down and sacked. What a play! Edwin Spillman, the Tennessee commit. Josh Heupel has to be happy about that one.
Yeah, you got to like how he closed on that play. It looked like he was going to be an easy play, and then he hit the jets and was able to run the quarterback down on the backside.
So they're going to count that as a 2-yard loss. 2nd down and 12 from the 23 now. There is rumors that Nick Saban's there. He's here tonight. I have not seen him, as he has 2 receivers, that being IMG's Bradford, and that pass nearly picked off. It was juicy, as Cole Bradley nearly had him a pick 6.
Yeah, he went for the knockdown. If he goes for the ball, that's a pick 6. Looks like an easy break on the ball, but he made sure that they didn't catch it.
Another big 3rd down for Lipscomb, as IMG has pretty much done what they've needed to do all day long. Whenever they've needed a big play, they've gotten it. 8th play of the drive. Now 9th play of the drive. Line to gain is the 11-yard line. Bradford trying to get out of a little trouble there. Throws it to the end zone. Caught! What a play! Touchdown! IMG. Winston Watkins with the big play. What a dime by Bradford, his 2nd touchdown pass tonight.
Yeah, Bradford was scrambling around, nowhere to go, and you talk about a situation where a quarterback turns a small play into a big play. That time he was able to turn water into wine as he was scrambling on the outside. Looked like he was going to get sacked, able to redirect and find a receiver open in the back of the end zone. What
9 plays, 92 yards. That is a dagger with 40 seconds to go in the half. Unreal, Joe. What a throw. As here comes the extra point by Patrick Kane. Snap good. Kick is good.
Well, things just got different now as we take a look at the replay. The quarterback steps up, nowhere to go. He's dead to rights right there. Does a good job of getting outside the pocket, throwing, running to his left, not able to set his feet, but still able to drop a dime into the receiver in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah, that was unreal. CJ Jim Colley just got beat on that one. It reminds you of the young man you were watching play a preseason game, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Remember him against Texas last year, making a play very similar?
Yeah, very similar to that.
That young man, Liberty is going to love him. Jamie Chadwell, the head coach there. As Hugh Freeze left to go to Auburn. Auburn's in the mix for a bunch of these kids too. And so now Joseph Collins will kick for IMG. As that touchdown, that's a big one. And for them, they're the number 3 team in the country, IMG, and you're seeing why. Because Lipscomb's good. They look like a good ball club, but IMG is just making plays.
Yeah, they're thorough, and they're a machine. We talk about how solid this team, didn't start the year last year, the first game, the way they wanted to, but we saw them progress and got better as the year went on. Like, you could say the same thing about tonight. They started slow, but they found ways to find big plays, and it's made the difference in the ball game.
And so Lorick will, his foot touch the end zone, so he will get the touchback. See if they try to do any kind of, make any kind of move here, or if they'll just take a knee and head into the locker room as such. 9 plays, 92 yards, as Bradford, 2 touchdown passes tonight. Winston Watkins with 1, Jeray Hawkins the other. And they'll come out in a power formation, and they're just going to kneel it down. And that will do it for the first half. IMG Academy has come out here in this one and been dominant. As you can see, Ellis Robinson, the 4th, just shaking his head, knowing they've got this game on lockdown, at least for the time being. We'll see what kind of adjustments Mawai and company will make to battle back here in the second half. IMG will get the ball, rather the Lipscomb will get the ball first, but they've got to do some soul searching here in Kevin Mawai's first game.
Yeah, they've got dominated from the defensive perspective today, but offensively, you know, they've got to find a way to put some points on the board.
Yep, they certainly do, as we are through the first half of play here in Nashville. And it's 21-3, IMG ahead. Stay tuned, we'll have second half action for you. We'll break down the first half and all that as we continue on. As you're watching Friday Night Football right here on Flow Sports. They played Newbern tonight to start the season. 42-0 loss. Solid. Even though they lost their coach to Hillside. Do what? Even though they lost their coach to And we are at the half here in Nashville. As you can see the score. And the crowd somewhat subdued as it's 21-3 IMG. Joe Simmons and Chris Hooks here as IMG Joe has just made big play after big play. Here's some of the highlights.
Yeah, you look at when the game first started, here's one of the biggest plays, throwing it down the middle. Nice little route combination, getting the receiver the ball on the outside and letting the speed take its course. And then Lipscomb comes back, and I'm thinking they're going to be ready for a shootout as they almost take this kickoff return to the house as IMG's safety valve was able to knock them out of bounds, and they were able to hold them to 3 points. But then we saw a couple of big plays from the IMG defense as they were able to eliminate the big play from Lipscomb. And the Lipscomb defense had held its own most of the day as well, except with the exception of a few big plays. Here you see the quarterback step up and shows you how smooth he is, and probably the biggest offensive play of the game for Lipscomb right there.
Yep, and then it's kind of gone downhill from there as Gibson, 50-plus yard run.
Yeah, showcasing the wheels.
There's a 56-yard touchdown run there. And a good defensive stop. But again, this is the play of the night to me.
Yeah, showing the ability to make a play, doing a good job boxing and keeping his eyes downfield, but the throw, to drop it in the basket like that, that's tough. I don't care on any level.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of the trash can drill where you have the quarterback scramble around and try to drop one in the trash can, and, you know, he just put it to work.
That's, again, just great play after great play by Lipscomb Academy and IMG, but IMG just made more. And we're at the half. We'll break down the second half, get you ready for it. When we return, we'll take a timeout as both teams getting set to come out on the field. You're watching Flow Sports, season opening matchup between IMG and Lipscomb Academy.
I'm trying to. It's in manual, but where the fuck is the ring? Oh, there it is. That's why they are.
And we are back as the second half is just about set to begin here from the Lipscomb Academy Athletic Complex. He is Joe Simmons. I'm Chris Hooks as we're here live in Nashville. Joe, if you're head coach Kevin Mawai, what was your speech to the Mustangs at the half?
You got to talk about execution and how penalties and other things have set you back, and you can't make the mistakes that you've made on drives. We saw the first drive or the first touchdown that IMG scored was the result of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty where they would have been punting. Instead, they got to 15 yards, and 2 plays later, they threw a bomb for a touchdown. When they had their best drive going today, they had 3 consecutive delay of game penalties that kind of killed their vibe, and they had to take a timeout or 2 in there as well. So the little things they've got to do better, but you got to tell your guys, let's go out and win the third quarter and see what kind of position we put ourselves in to win this football game.
They will get the ball to start the second half, though. But again, they had a golden opportunity at the 19-yard line, but could not. That's when they had that meltdown with the clock, and they just couldn't get out of their own way there.
Yeah, they've been their own worst enemy so far today.
We'll see if they can make it happen here. And they'll start wherever they finish this return. And a good job there by Beasley. They'll get past the 20. I think they'll mark them at the 24. Let's see if Deuce Knight and company can get the offense rolling here. They've had some good drives. It hasn't been as big play-esque as IMG Academy, but again, the opportunities have been there. They'll actually mark them back at the 22-yard line. And so that's where Lipscomb will start. They've got to do something about this penetration up front.
Well, they got to do a better job of giving the quarterback time. We've seen Deuce Knight make some plays, but he needs a little bit more time in the pocket so that he can look downfield and maybe find some openings in this IMG secondary.
And first play, a little screen set up for Bennett Whitfield. And Whitfield, as Whitefield gets 3 yards. And it looks like that'll make it 2nd and 7 from the 25. They'll set up another screen for Whitefield. Whitefield, he'll get just shy of the 30 to the 29.
Yeah, trying to establish a rhythm, trying to dictate to the defense what you want to see them in. They've been playing a soft zone most of the day.
There is a flag. And it's going to be a legal motion.
Penalty is an illegal shift against the Mustangs.
Legal shift. So that'll back them up.
Ball is placed to the Mustang 19-yard line.
And that's what we talked about, how they're in their own way. They've had 2 successful positive plays, put themselves in the 3rd and short situation. Now they're in a 2nd and long or 2nd and medium situation again.
Yeah, they're 2nd and 13 from the 19-yard line. See if they're all set here. And Andy Smith, the Ivy League headed young man, as Lorick, a little flare across the middle, and Ellis Robinson and company were right there as he tried to run it across the middle, and that may be 4 yards as they'll give him to the 23. So it'll be 3rd and 9. So 3rd and 9 from the 23, and they're in danger of going 3 and out here as Deuce Knight and the Mustangs have got to get a first down here. If they have any hopes of getting back in this one, this is a big play. 3rd down, 3 to the near side. Knight pressured. He's just going to dump it off, and it's knocked out of bounds off the hands of Patterson, and they will be forced to punt as that defense was swarming all over. And again, the DBs, as good as they are, they just could not get the receivers open.
Yeah, that time the quarterback had a little bit of time, and then as the pocket collapsed, he wanted to go to the check down, and even the check down receiver was covered. Fortunate for them that that ball wasn't tipped up and intercepted as it went off the shoulder pads and bounced out of bounds.
Knight and Patterson have had their issues trying to complete passes in the backfield as Schulman will come on to punt. He's done a good job punting. That's a rocket, and that'll bounce. That's a good bounce. That's going to be picked up by Ellis Robinson to the 30, to the 40, and he gets all the way to midfield. There's a flag thrown at the last minute. Looks like we have a block in the back. And they'll mark him out at the 49-yard line. Let's see what the flag is. And
penalty marker on the field.
This one might be a little, maybe a 15-yard variety.
That could be a crackback block.
Yep.
And that can happen when you have a play like that that takes longer to develop.
And block in the back. So it'll be 10 yards, first down. We'll see what they mark them. See if you see the block in the back. Yep, there it is. It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, if I'm correct. We'll see where they back him up. Yep, that'll be all the way to the 30. And Lipscomb has shown the ability to stop IMG. Except for that first drive where they committed a penalty. Here's 1st and 10. Gibson trying to bring it to the outside. He'll cut it up to the 30. Breaks tackles. Flag thrown from a long ways away. He'll get to the 42-yard line, but it's going to come back. Holding probably the call. And we'll see how far they put it back.
There's a penalty marker on the field. Penalty is holding against the Ascenders.
So the Ascenders, that'll move it back to the 25. So it'll be 2nd and 15 from the 25.
So it must have been downfield, probably a receiver or someone holding.
4 receivers out for the team in white, up 21-3. You can see Caleb Beasley sliding back off the coverage. Looks like they're in a little bit of a cover 2 look here. Bradford just a handoff to the far side. Gibson, and he's able to keep himself up, but I don't think he got back to the current line of scrimmage, and his helmet came off. And then a flag is thrown, and that might be on Lipscomb, or rather IMG. And we'll see what the official calls. And if it's a penalty on IMG, that's pretty much their first mistake tonight. Yep, that'll be a and that'll move them way back. I think they're trying to compete, as it'll be 2nd down and 30 from the 13.
Yeah, you got to wonder, you know, how both of these teams would react after pretty good performances in the first half, and IMG dominating the majority of the first half. Looks like Lipscomb's come out with a little bit more fight in the second half, and they're going to make IMG work for it. They're not going to lay down and allow this to be a blowout. They're going to fight for it.
So I think it's second down and 27 from the 13.
I think that's about right.
They have 25. The original line of scrimmage was the 30. So either way, it's a long ways to go. Second down, Gibson. Actually, he's out of the play. They had to bring in Anthony Rogers, the #1 running back in the country of 2025. It just tells you how good this team is. This is a junior running back already committed to Alabama, and that's his first carry tonight. So third down and a lot. And the snap is dropped by Bradford, and he'll fall down. All the way back at the 10.
Here you see not really anticipating the snap, and it was a little bit outside, and a good job by Lipscomb of making sure they got pressure up the field, but he did a better job of getting on the football and not allowing it to turn into an even bigger play. But now Lipscomb has the opportunity to get good field position and see if they can make something happen offensively.
They will be punting from the end zone. So Caleb Beasley will return as Schulman will punt from the end zone. If there was a golden opportunity to make a play, it's it right here, and it looks like a timeout's going to get called here. It'd be funny if the play clock reset. I'm just kidding. And a delay again. That's not funny. So now they're punting from the 5. So fourth, and here's the punt. It's 4th and 38. So they're going to have great field position, but a great punt. Beasley gets it at midfield, and he's brought down immediately. What a play by Zechariah Fort.
He might be hurt, too, the way he went down.
Looks like he cramped up a little bit. Zechariah Fort, a 4-star recruit, sophomore, committed to Alabama, if that tells you anything. So he cramps up, and it will be 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for IMG for Lipscomb. So they'll be at the plus 48-yard line. They've had some good field positions. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. We'll take a time out real quick as they tend to the injured player. Back after this on Flow Sports.
Play resumes after the injury timeout. Ball is at the Cinders' 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Lipscomb Academy.
And we're back here. 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line for Lipscomb Academy. Deuce Knight with a bunch formation. And that's nearly picked off, and that was also almost taken the other way as Major Preston is trying not to catch a cramp, Joe.
Yeah, he's fighting it. Got to catch that one, though, son. That one was hit you in between the hands.
For the Ascenders, number 0, Major Preston.
Second down and 10. Here's another look.
Brings up a 2nd and 10.
And pressure makes the ball high, and it gets in on him and goes through the hands and into the face mask. That's one you got to catch.
There's Knight on the rollout. They do have Lorick open. And Lorick gets to the 39-yard line on that one. 9 yards on the play. 39-yard line. And there's Preston, Major Preston. There's his body saying, all right, now I'm going to cramp up on you.
Yeah, he was fighting it. He should have gone out and got some hydration. But once you get to the point you're starting to cramp, like all the water in the world is not going to save you.
Not at that point.
Yeah, you've already reached that point. The muscles are going to start spasming on you and failing you.
Again, I was nowhere near the player that you were, but I only had one cramp ever, and it was on a kickoff return in the middle of it. I got sniped.
That would be the worst feeling, riding home on a long bus ride when you've got 13 or 14 hours to ride back after a game, and then them cramps set in, and that's the worst feeling in the world because you can't get up and walk it out on that bus. You got to sit there and just take it.
We've seen it in our travels. Well, speaking of travels, listen to this, Joe. So IMG starts the season, obviously here tonight against Lipscomb, the 18th ranked team of the country. Next week, they go to Philadelphia to take on St. Joe's, a program we know very well, thanks to Flow Sports. Tim Roken, amazing coach to work with. Then they go to Indianapolis to take on Ben Davis, another top-ranked program. Then they go to Cleveland to take on Glenville High School, Ted Ginn, that whole family. So for their first 4 games that they are traveling, they're playing the number 1 team in their state, in each state. They are traveling 3,973.9 miles. Wow. The longest trip is to Cleveland, 1,125 miles. I think they're flying.
Oh, I'm definitely sure they're flying.
As it's 3rd and 1 here. And I don't think he got it, Joe. I think he's short, as the handoff was to Micah Burton.
Yeah, I think he's going to be short, but hopefully all those kids have their own accounts with the airline so they can rack up those frequent flyer points.
Oh, you know somebody at IMG's racking those things up. The travel coordinator.
It's a lot of miles.
And so it'll be 4th and short. It just seems like nothing that IMG or nothing that Lipscomb is doing, just, again, every inch they're having to fight for, and that's just too much effort.
They are.
And they're well short there.
Well, last time they spread them out and ran a quarterback sneak, and as athletic as they are up front and with the quarterback they have, I suspect we'll see that again.
And this was billed as one of the top games of the night.
At the 38-yard line of the Ascenders, 4th and inches, Mustang.
St. Francis of Baltimore against Buford. Buford up 15-0 in that one. That was the other ballyhooed game. As it's 4 receivers, they're going to try that quarterback sneak again. And if they give him forward progress, I think he fumbled the football. If they give him the extension of the football, that's a first down.
Yeah, he should have stayed with that. Once he pulled it back and ran backwards, though, he lost that.
And I don't think he got it, Joe. I think they're going to have a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I think you're correct. He should have kept his arm extended and just fell forward on that side, and he would have probably gotten it.
Wow. Great defense there by IMG. Deuce Knight, again, that's a football IQ play. Here's a look. Watch.
Yeah, here you see he's stuck right here, and he reaches out. And then when he goes the other way, he loses that progress.
Was he down then? See, I didn't see if he was down. So Here comes Jaden Bradford in the offense, back out with an 18-point lead. Gibson with the draw handoff. He'll power his way to the 45-yard line. So 4 plays and out there. So they start from the 39. They'll get 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. From the 40, they started from the 40. So from the 46. Again, big stop here for Lipscomb if they got to keep this game going. There's a lob pass to the outside. And that had a little bit more air on it, Joe. That linebacker, Chris Thompson, could have jumped the route.
Yeah, definitely. And a good job by the quarterback of throwing it away where nobody could get to it because he didn't even want his guy to catch it in that situation.
So it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Well, this is a big down for Lipscomb. They want to get the football back. Looks like they were lined up off sides on that, though.
And that's what's going to get it.
Yeah, they're having trouble getting out of their own way still. The little plays that you make in the first game that hurt you, they've all bitten them badly today.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 41. So the last 3 drives for Lipscomb, Joe. "14 plays, no points. 4 plays, no points. 4 plays, no points." Bradford lobs it down the far side. And Eccles kind of stopped his route. And he overshoots him, and it's incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Well, there wasn't a lot of room left on the sideline, so I think he thought that he should have squatted in that situation. And he might be cramping up a little bit, too.
Jonathan Eccles, 4-star recruit. You may see Connor Adair come in at tight end. Or Brady Corral, rather. As Jarrett Gibson back in at running back. 2nd down and 10. From the 49. Gibson, look at him go. 30, 20, 10. 1 man to beat. Touchdown. 49-yard touchdown run for Jarrett Gibson. His 2nd of the night.
Really smooth, too, that time. Showed you the ability to make one cut and then get vertical. Not something you see a lot of high school running backs. A lot of times you see him run real wide and then get upfield. He made that one cut, got a shoulder pass back square, and got vertical like he's supposed to, and nobody could catch him.
Well, IMG is just pulling all the stops out here tonight as they are up 27-3 after a 6-play, 61-yard drive. Here's the extra point, and it is good. So here's another look, Joe.
Yeah, gets the ball inside, makes the cut outside, and gets shoulder pass back square, hash numbers boundary, all the way to the end zone, and nobody's catching that young man.
Bo Strickland tried to run him down, but it was to no avail.
I think people are heading to the door.
Yep. And let's take a timeout here. 28-3, IMG on top. IMG to kick it off. And here comes Lipscomb trying to get something going. Got a little bit of a seam, but it's closed up immediately. And Lorick falls down. Ball does come loose, but he was down on the ground, can't cause a fumble. And you look at the touchdowns today here for IMG. It was a 55-yard touchdown pass, a 56-yard run, a 23-yard touchdown pass. That was the shortest one of the day. Here's Knight, the lefty, rolling out. Has Lort, 40. It's inside the 45, up to the 47-yard line.
Nice little route combination that time. They had a corner route on the inside with a curl on the outside and put the cover 3 cornerback in a bind, and they were able to work it underneath, which is a good route combination to get the quarterback going.
Penalty mark will be offsides on the defense here. That's a gain of 12 on the play.
Ball is placed at the IMG 39-yard line. 1st and 5, Mustangs.
So the third play here, 1st and 5 from the 49. He didn't jump there, he got lucky. As Deuce Knight will change the play, 2 to the left, now 2 to the right, 1 to the right side of Knight. And he lofts that up, and that was nearly picked off by Owosu Boateng. And that one, there was no pop on that pass whatsoever. It was nearly taken back.
Yeah, another opportunity for a big-time play that what didn't happen, and you know these defenders got to take advantage of these opportunities. Good pressure up on the quarterback on the inside. He's in prime position, almost runs the route for the receiver, and just unable to hold on to it.
But it was almost like he was looking at making the wrong read. And here's Knight dropping it off on 2nd and 5. And that'll be enough for a first down as Micah Burton carries the tackler inside the 40, close to the 35.
Yeah, strong catch and run that time on the outside as Burton was able to pull it in. Looked like he was going to go out of bounds, and he's able to put the defender on his back and take him for a little $5 Uber ride. And now they got a first down opportunity.
1st and 10 at the 36. Knight will dump it off, but he missed the target there. And that's incomplete. And it was meant for Andy Smith.
Yeah, Knight's got to do a better job with his footwork. That time he didn't have his shoulders pointing at the target, and when he tried to make the throw, the ball just floated on him because he wasn't in a good position. He's got to snap those hips around and make that throw and drop it in the bucket.
You can see at the bottom of the screen the play charts. I always think those are funny. They need to do a little bit harder paper.
Yeah, they got the little flimsy board.
Yeah.
And it's flying all over the place.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to hold up. Here we go, 2nd down and 10 after that pass was incomplete. Now here's Knight again, 5 receivers. Little stop route to Lorick. Lorick spun down after a gain to the 33-yard line.
Right there, you see what kind of ball he can throw when he does get those feet set. He has an incredible release, and the ball gets out quick.
Only 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7. So 3rd and 7, 7th play of the drive here. As there's trips to the right side. There's got to be somebody open, but they've just got to give him some time, and they've not got a lot of time left either. Knight stepping up, getting blocks. He'll get the first down, and he'll extend the football out of bounds. We'll see if they give him that as he gets inside the 30 all the way to the 26. So 7 yards on the play. 1st and 10 from the 26 now. And Whitefield will dump behind the line of scrimmage. He'll get inside to the 20. I think they'll give him forward progress to the 19.
Yeah, they're working a little fast. I think they found something they like defensively. They have a nice little package against what IMG is doing, and Wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a timeout or something called.
And that's exactly what we're going to get, as IMG will call the timeout, as we have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in this third quarter. And IMG has been dominant and pretty much put Lipscomb and made Lipscomb make their own mistakes. The first touchdown drive, they got out 3 and out. They just committed a penalty.
Yeah.
And after that, 56-yard touchdown, or actually 44-yard touchdown pass. And then just big plays by IMG. You can see Lipscomb, when they get into the teams that they play in the state, they'll be just fine. And they tried to play with the big boys here, and you can certainly see that they have some athletes, just not as many. And Coach Mawai is still in his first game. He's probably going to say, I saw a lot of good things, I saw a lot of bad things, and everything you can build on.
Well, it's a test. It's a test to see where you're at. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And his guys, like, everything they see after this is going to seem a little bit easier.
So Michael Burton now in the backfield a little bit more often as Knight to Westlake. Westlake out of bounds at the 16. That might be enough for a first down. It will. First and 10, they're in the red zone again. They're just taking what they can get. Now they see if they can get Caleb Beasley open here. As Caleb Beasley, now the 5th wide receiver in this bunch. Trips to the near side, 2 to the far right. They're going to send the blitz, and somebody was in Deuce Knight's face almost immediately.
Yeah, that was going to be Gavin Nix, I'm sure.
And there are a little shenanigans going on behind the play. There's a flag. And I think that might be a 15-yard penalty on Lipscomb.
And Nix came in untouched, and I saw him before the play started to look over to the coach and say same thing. And so he came through free and got a good shot on the quarterback. So I don't know if they called roughing the passer or anything else in that.
Nope, they're going to call personal foul, roughing the passer. So it'll be half the distance to the goal. First and 10 from the 8-yard line.
That's a tough call. I didn't see if he hit him in the head, but he did get a clean shot at him.
Unless they go 15 yards from there. I don't understand that. I was about to say. It's half the distance from the goal, right? It should be at the 8-yard line, and it will be. So first and goal from the 8-yard line. It's the best field position, best drive at least. Gotten down to the 8. The field goal was a 40-yarder. It's a fade to the corner of the end zone. Flags go everywhere. And it'll be first and goal at the, well, probably at the 1 or at the 4. Pass interference.
He had like pretty good coverage, but he doesn't look like he can locate the ball. You can't pull when you're in that situation. He was in good position. He just didn't get his head around and get his hands off the jersey.
So first and goal from the 4.
Excellent ball placement at the time too by the quarterback.
Yeah.
His guy was the only one that was going to be able to catch that one.
Again, still plenty of time left, but it's just taken them too long to get in the end zone. They haven't had the big plays yet, but you just never know. And off to Burton. Burton stopped at the 1. Second and goal from the 1-yard line. 13th play of the drive. Burton back to the right side of Knight. They're trying to get their first touchdown of the year. Burton swallowed up, pushing forward. Touchdown! 13 plays, 61 yards. 28-9 now the score. It took nearly 3 quarters for the Mustangs to finally get on the board, and the faithful that have stayed certainly continuing to keep cheering, hoping for a comeback here. Here's the extra point by the left-footed kicker, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 28-10. Here's the touchdown for the Mustangs as they try to push their way back into it like Micah Burton just did in the end zone. Back after this on Flow Sports. Late third quarter, 28-10 the score. Chris Hooks and Joe Simmons here. Lipscomb Academy trying to hang on, find a way to get back in this one here in this second half. And they've taken that first step, Joe.
They have, and that's one of the things I know the coaching staff wanted to see. We talked about how they were going to fight and not give up and make it easy, and right now they're doing exactly that.
That was almost disastrous, but a very smart play by Olabode. And so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
Yeah, IMG has to be kicking themselves too. They had 2 chances for interceptions on that last drive as well against Lipscomb, and they didn't convert either. And when you give a team opportunities and second chances, they have to take advantage of it, and Lipscomb stepped up to the challenge.
The illegal procedure penalty will start things for IMG at the 35-yard line.
Now the defense needs to come up with another big stop and try to capitalize on field position if they can. Oh, they're going to make him kick it again.
Yeah, they're making him kick again. For a second, I thought it was going to be a fumble, like they weren't. That he misplayed it.
Yeah. He got away with it because it was close.
Yep. So they'll back him up 5 yards and try to kick it again. All these kids out here are super smart too. Like Coach Miller was telling me, a lot of these kids, most of his kids on IMG 3.5, 4.0 GPAs. Same thing with Lipscomb Academy. So Olabode gets it at the 21. And he'll get to the 40-yard line, and that's where he'll start. So all that for 5 yards.
He got 5 more yards. But opportunity to make a big play.
Never know.
You never know.
Yep. I will say a big shout out to both coaches for this game. Kevin Mawai. First of all, he's a Hall of Famer, played 16 seasons in the NFL. We're on our Zoom call the other day. And my son, I told you this earlier, and people maybe have not heard us, but my son snuck in, shot me with a Nerf gun, and he talked to Coach Mawai for 15 minutes. Maybe he got a strategy to win here, but Jarrett Gibson does a nice job of being patient there. Takes the 1st and 10 carry to the 44-yard line.
I like his feet, though. He doesn't ever stop moving his feet. He does a good job of leading in and out of cuts. And, you know, a lot of times when you're getting a bunch of 2- and 3-yard runs, it gets discouraging as a running back because you're used to having success. But he seems really patient, and when he gets that opportunity, we've seen him run away with it.
And they'll come back out in the pistol again. Gibson, again, shiftiness, and he'll fall forward for enough to make it 3rd and 3.
Yeah, you got to like his, ability to change direction in and out of the cut. A pretty big back, probably around 5'11", 220 to 225 pounds. So he's carrying a load, but he's really light on his feet. He moves well with it.
Gibson, 5'11", 220. Big third down here as Lipscomb trying to take a bite out of the lead here, down by 18. Bradford, he's going to keep it. And a great play by Chris Thompson. He came from behind and pulled down Bradford for the loss, and he's short of the first down. Take a look, Joe.
Yeah, nice job on the misdirection. Looks like it's going to be an easy play, and Thompson comes around and grabs the quarterback on top of the shoulder pads and pulls him down from the side.
He might have hurt himself a little bit. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, probably cramping up a little bit, a little tired, a little winded.
So he got a yard on the play. 4th and 2 from the 48. And whistle blows.
Delay a game.
And that's probably what it is. My point of the story a minute ago, too, Billy Miller, when I was talking to him, we got to talking about our kids, too. And legal substitution was called on Lipscomb Academy.
That's first down.
Wow.
1st and 10, IMG Academy.
So they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 43. But anyway, we talked baseball. His son plays baseball in a league down in Florida. They had their tryouts. He's 7 at noon in Florida. I was telling him my son had tryouts last Saturday at 2 o'clock when it was like 90-some degrees. He wasn't bothered. I was, though.
Yeah, I would have been bothered, too.
My son went out there and threw 3 straight strikes to impress the coaches. Unlike his daddy, who hit the top of the backstop. Either way, it's 1st and 10 from the 48. The opposite 48, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter. And that was a big mistake there by Lipscomb. We've got one more quarter to go here in Nashville, as the Music City not looking very happy right now as IMG leads at 28-10. We go to the 4th quarter on Flow Sports.
Gets underway in the 4th quarter. Ball is at the Mustang 48-yard line. 1st and 10, IMG Academy. Bradford's pass intended for Donovan Molobodi is incomplete. Number 12, Carter Silver.
Liberty. And that's a program and a university, as the holding is being called on the play. So it'll be first and long.
After assessment of the penalty, ball is placed at the IMG Academy 42-yard line.
So it'll be first and 20. With a line to gain. Back at the other 48. Olabode in motion. Bradford, play action. He'll just dump it off to Abode. And Olabode gets back past the original line of scrimmage to the 48-yard line.
Nice little job of utilizing the play action that time. Quarterback has booted a couple of times and run the football. That time they had an outlet or SBR on the outside, and he was able to drop it off for about a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, they're moving it all the way to the 47. So 2nd and 9. And there's Jarrett Gibson again. Just staying on his feet. Are you kidding me? All the way inside the 30 to the 29. Injured player down on the field for Lipscomb. And just that guy, there's a reason why the University of Texas wants that young man. Sheesh.
Well, his footwork is amazing for a high school player. Watching him, he doesn't waste any moves, but he shows you that 225 or 220 or whatever it is. It looks pretty big. When he runs that football, he gets behind his pads, and that time he was like a freight train on the loose.
And we'll take a timeout for the injured player, and we'll come right back as IMG is cruising here in the 4th quarter, up 28-10. I'm ready to be back. First and 10 at the 30-yard line, the 29 rather. Here's a screen to Watkins. All sorts of green in front of him, and he will jog his way in. Touchdown, IMG. And Watkins with his 2nd touchdown of the night. Wow, Joe.
Yeah, nice job locating him. And then when he made the spin move to the outside, he knew no one was going to catch him. Didn't really give you the wheels, but didn't really have to either, as he was able to just jog into the end zone.
Prime time. Would have enjoyed that.
Absolutely.
As Kane is on for the extra point. Bad snap, but saved at the last second by the holder. And the kick is up and good as Jaden Bradford and the offense for IMG. Little play action, bubble screen, 6 on the board. 35-10 the score on Flow Sports. We back. There's Lipscomb Academy to receive the kick. And it's called at the 6, far side. Lorick had a hole, but it closed immediately as he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line. And Lipscomb, now you're in a situation, Joe, where you're just trying to do as best you can just to build on the rest of the year.
Yeah, at this point now, you're going to measure your guys, how they fight and how they finish. But also, as a coach, you're going to take a look at a couple other kids, too, and see if there's somebody who steps up and shows some game potential. I know that right now they don't feel like they're completely out of it yet. They feel like one touchdown and they can get right back in it. So we'll see the first teamers out there right now and see if they can make something happen. But they've got to be a little bit diminished right now. I know they were hoping to have a better showing tonight against IMG.
They had their opportunities, but a lot of times football games come down to a few plays as Knight a waggle over to the far side, finds the receiver Lorick. He's a good little ball player as he will get 5 yards. So 2nd and 5 from the 32. A little quick screen. As Kofi Boggs makes the catch. Minimal gain there, maybe no gain. As the line to gain is the 37-yard line. As they're on the 34. So 2-yard gain. 3rd and 3 from the 34. Knight rolling out. Knight just trying to get open. And I think he gets the first down as he runs to the near side, out of bounds. Could have been a hold there, but no call. And he's got a little bit of a limp to him. And the funny thing is the backup quarterback, Jackson Kilberg, also getting looked at by ECU, Marshall, and Memphis, so he's quite capable too. You gotta wonder, as he'll get the first down to the 38. And they make some changes at the line, trips to the far side. Knight backing and throwing. He put some air under that one. He caught that. What a play by Lorick to the 26-yard line.
You want to separate yourself from the pack, you got to be able to make big plays, and that time he was able to go up and snag that one out of the air. Good job by the quarterback getting rid of it, throwing it to the high side, giving his guy a chance to go get the 50-50 football. And when you have a guy who's a big-time Division I recruit, you got to give him opportunities.
I think they said he was down at the 30, so and that's where they'll mark him down. The pass is incomplete. 2nd down. So a 32-yard gain. Or rather, 22-yard gain. Either way, is the 28-yard line. Knight hit from behind, able to keep his feet and throws it incomplete. As he was hit twice from behind. So that 34-yard gain puts it now at 2nd down and 10 at the 28 after that incomplete pass. That was good wherewithal to at least stay up. As we're down to the final 10:03 of this one. And looks like he needs to come out with his thumb. Is that thing bent backwards?
It looks like it.
Well, that looks like that hurts a little bit.
Might be a hand crab.
Tav Schaefer now getting a chance to come in. And he'll just throw a dump off pass to the near side. And Ellis Robinson, the 4th, just hawks the ball. And Bennett Whitfield can't come away with it. So it's 3rd and 10 from the 28.
4th and 10, Mustangs.
Or rather, 4th and 10. Eighth play of the drive. Tav Schaefer, the quarterback. See if they can get him some time. They're going to send a man in motion. And they try to get him on the wheel route, and it's incomplete. And they'll turn it over on downs. After a promising drive, falls short. And hopefully Deuce Knight's okay, because that thumb injury is nothing to play around with.
Yeah, I think he might have got a cramp, though, the way it was locked out, like his hands were locked out when he came off. Let's hope it's nothing major.
So IMG, looks like we got the backup in, if that's who I think it is. And there is a backup in, and that will be Jamar Malone, the quarterback. Tyson Park, the new player, in as well. Spillman makes the tackle, 3-yard gain. As again, Jamar Malone, a junior quarterback. There's an 8th grader on the team that Coach Miller says could be the next Cam Newton.
Wow.
And here's a draw handoff to Tyson Park. From Park inside the 40. They'll mark him down at the 36-yard line. Or rather, yeah, inside the 40 all the way to the 44. Correction there. So 1st and 10 from the 44. Tyson Park getting a little run here. A little sophomore. Not a ton of seniors. Good mix. And Coach Miller's very strategic with his teams, so he doesn't have so much turnover. There's Malone rolling out. Malone's got room. 45. Good defense there. As Cole Bradley knocks him down for a short gain at the 46, 2 yards. 2nd and 8 now, as we're down to the final 9 minutes of this one. Joe and I will hit the road after this one and head down to Colquitt County, Georgia. Doubleheader action on Flow Sports. Lowndes High School will take on Christ School from North Carolina. And then Colquitt County taking on Dutch Fork, one of the top matchups in the country this weekend. Silver Foxes of Dutch Fork under head coach Tom Knott, 63-2-1 in their last 5 years. And there's a handoff to Park, and he is swallowed up on 2nd down and 8. And I think he lost some yardage there. And they'll mark it back.
Yeah, good call on the defense that time. They were able to get underneath the guard that was pulling, and 2 linebackers and a defensive end showed up in the backfield at the same time. Nowhere for Park to run on that play.
Also 5 on the play. 3rd and 13 from the 41 now. Again, IMG has their backup in, but the Lipscomb crowd still into it. Malone. And that pass is knocked away. Good job by Caleb Beasley. And minus a few plays, you feel like it's just been the big plays that have, there's not been a real methodical drive by IMG today. Not a ton of them.
No, they've been big plays that have been the difference in the game. We talked about how they've had probably one really good drive where they've sustained it and pushed the ball down the field, and that was ended with the 23-yard touchdown pass. That was pretty spectacular. But other than that, it's been big plays that have been the undoing for Lipscomb today.
And here's the punt. And that'll just roll all the way inside perfectly to the 10-yard line. Looks like one of your chipping attempts to the green. I think Joe's a 7 handicap golfer. Is that right?
A little better than that.
Really?
Yeah, I played at a 1 or 2 the last 2 years.
Good for you, man. I think I've played that many times in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I've been trying to wean myself off the golf course the last few weeks because I played a lot in the summer. But this heat has made it easy not to want to go out there too.
Yeah. So again, IMG 35-10. So the last 2 IMG games we've done, Joe, they have outscored their opponents 85-16. Maybe we're exactly what they need. I joked with Coach Miller. I was like, you know, we're your good luck charm. You do realize that? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, we were your second game of the year, and we started your winning streak. I just want to give you that.
I'm sure he welcomed us in.
He was funny. He laughed. Again, well, a lot of times the conversations I have with these coaches is obviously you want to learn about the team, but you also want to, like, let them know that you're here to tell their story too.
Yes.
And he's just a good guy. It was funny though. He was telling me the story about his son's baseball experiences, and I asked him if he had joined it. His son had joined the travel circuit yet, because my son this past summer played in all-star ball, where we were in tournaments with teams that were in the travel ball circuit, and he said not yet. And he said that's probably coming. Here's a slant route across the middle to Lorick. And Lorick, he's been all over the place. East Carolina's getting a heck of a wide receiver, as he has been the lone guy to make the plays here tonight.
Yeah, he's really good in the slide. Outside, he doesn't really show the get-off that he probably is going to need to work on, but inside, he's dynamic.
There's the handoff. They get the first down. Now they move 6 more yards. And that'll give him 2nd and 4 when there's a timeout now. And it was 6:25 to go. I'm probably going to get him in trouble saying this, but he was telling me his wife played college volleyball, and she was really good. And so she was like stressing a little bit because she said that she felt like that if he didn't play travel ball, that he wouldn't make his high school team. And he said, honey, he's got 8 years.
He's right. You don't want to burn him out.
No, you don't. I mean, I could imagine his son's probably a really good athlete. His dad is a good one, and the genes, again, his mom and dad both were athletes. And if he's like my son, he'll take after the mom in the athletic side of things. It was just funny. It just, again, you get to know these people on a different level. As 2nd and 4, Knight still running for his life, and he'll slide for the first down at the 40. And I hope that I didn't get Coach Miller in trouble. He's a good dude, great guy to talk to. So it's 1st and 10 from the 40. Here's the lefty, letting it rip. Good throw and a catch. Guess who? Dylan Lorick. And Lorick gets to the other 40-yard line. That's a 20-yard play. 1st and 10 at the 40. Little bunch formation. Handoff up the middle. Minimal gain there. As Zechariah Crockett, the new running back, and an opportunity here 3-yard gain there to the 37. 2nd and 7. Knight finding room, rolls out, pointing direction, and he goes to the 30. As he'll run out of bounds. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30 when we get back to action.
Yeah, he's deceptive. It looks like he's not moving that fast, but then you start seeing him separate from people when he takes those outside runs. So he's definitely quicker than he looks and faster than he looks.
There's the quarterback keeper, Jaden Jackson, David Stone. That's a great defensive lineman name, David Stone.
David Stone.
Like stone cold killer up front.
Yeah, they went empty backfield and tried to run the quarterback draw, hoping that there would be no linebacker in the middle, and there wasn't, but they showed a good job of staying in their gaps on the D-line and able to push it back and nowhere for the quarterback to go on the play.
5 minutes to go, 2nd and 11 from the 31. And a host of ascenders past the line of scrimmage, so they'll be calling for offsides. The 2nd down and 6 from the 25.
Well, good job of changing up the count that time, and they were trying to time it out, and if they would have timed it out, it would have ended badly for the offense. So a good job by the quarterback of hanging on to that snap count and changing it up and mixing it up a little bit. It's easy when you get behind to just start going fast and trying to go faster. That time he slowed it down, and they were the beneficiaries of it.
So 4:50 to go. And it wasn't a 6-yard penalty, it's a 5-yard penalty. So they'll be at the 26. There's the dump off by Knight. They'll fall forward as Crockett. Also a great last name in the state of Tennessee. To the 20. 1st and 10 from the 20 now. Actually, I think it's 3rd and 1.
I think they're going to measure to see how close it is.
I mean, he's right there. So 4:45 to go. They're going to measure for the 1st down.
No, don't think so. I thought it was, he pointed to himself when he called timeout, but maybe he meant 30-second timeout.
You can see Coach Mawai right in front of our picture right here with the Polynesian shirt on. He's a native of the Hawaiian Islands. In fact, he has a Maui character, Maui toy in his office. My son pointed it out when he was talking to him after he got done. You know, he kind of looks like Maui from Moana. You know, I'm surprised he didn't, he didn't get into a "You're Welcome" song or anything like that. But the funniest part of that whole conversation with my son and Coach Mawai, my son pulled a line out from the movie Kicking and Screaming when Mike Ditka comes into the scene and asks, one of the kids asks, "Do you know Sammy Sosa?" And so when Coach Mawai told him who he played for and everything, my son goes, "Do you know Mike Ditka?" And I thought that was really funny. He actually did know him. He said that Ditka, when he was in New Orleans, was trying to get Mawai to go play in New Orleans. He said he chose not to. I think it was probably a right move. Played for the Titans for a long time. As now Deuce Knight on a 3rd and 1. Try to get it to Lort. And Caleb Beasley.
He's out.
That's a call to false start.
Yeah.
And he would have been disqualified from the Olympics.
Beasley showing you the wheels on the outside. That was a nice release, too. So they definitely had a screen call to that side because the way he took off, he was the clear-out man.
So 3rd and 6 now from the
Same play.
25. They're going to throw a fade. And and Beasley cannot get to it. He was ready. He knew. They knew. I mean, the cards were already shown. And 4th and 6 from the 25 with 4:40 to go. And again, we don't have the stats, but the stats don't look that bad.
They don't.
Knight's had some good numbers. I guarantee he's probably over 100 yards. But Jarrett Gibson, who would you say the offensive player of the game for? I guess Bradford?
I would think so.
Yeah, Bradford's certainly the player of the game. They had so many good plays, but his touchdown pass, the 23-yard one on this end of the field, I mean, that's a college throw. It's 4th down. Knight, nowhere to go with it. And had Lorick. It might have been batted a little bit, but either way, he had him on the run and couldn't come up with it. And that'll be turnover on downs. So IMG will start going the other way.
Yeah, the ball was wobbly, but that's one you got to catch. You know, wide receivers look for opportunities to make plays. That one, even though the ball was deflected a little bit and wasn't moving like he normally would catch it, if it hits your hands, you got to make that catch.
Yep.
That's one that he'll blame himself for.
And so Jamar Malone back out for IMG. They had Jaden Wade listed as the backup, but imagining they're just holding him back. He might not have even made the trip. I haven't really had a chance to look down there with everything going on. There's Park. And he'll get a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 from the 26 on the handoff.
Well, yeah, you expected to see Wade and even Adonis Moyes. So we saw Moyes get 1 carry. So maybe they're in rotation for another game, so they're not going to use them in this one.
Yeah, they're just going to let this clock run. The other running back in is Isaac Schimpf, a senior. 2 to the right. They have 2 to the backfield. There's Park. Park's a pretty good running back. He gets to the 40. The 45 and slung down. That's a big run there. Let's see where they mark him. That's a stat builder. That's a 24-yard run. 1st and 10 from the 50. And 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the near side. 2 backs in the backfield. And Park brought back to earth there as the defense, Danny Brown and Baker Mason in on the stops. They'll lose yardage there. Back, looks like, to the 47. So 2nd and 13 now. As we're down to 3:15, and IMG's going to do what they can to run this clock out and get back on, or get back to the hotel and fly out tomorrow to return home. Heaven forbid, please tell me they're not riding a bus.
Oh, no, I doubt that.
And Park brought down again from behind the line. Good job there by the defense. Edwin Spillman, another Tennessee commit. And that's a program that you could see, if they can get that recruiting back to where it was under Phil Fulmer, they could find themselves moving up the ladder. Although, with the SEC about to expand to what it's expanding to, it's still going to be tough sledding.
Well, it's going to always be tough sledding in the SEC and even the Big Ten. But Tennessee's well on their way, though. They've put together some pieces. The transfer portal has been really good to them. They've gotten some stellar pieces that have been difference makers on top of some of the best recruiting classes they've had in years. So they're trending in the right direction.
Again, the timeout called. Really, really wanted a better game because this place here tonight was buzzing from the get-go. The parking lot was buzzing about, what, 5 o'clock here?
Yeah.
Show you what?
Play gets back underway after the timeout. Ball is at the 42-yard line of IMG. 3rd and 28. Offender.
So 3rd and 28 now.
That's at 3rd and 18.
Correction, 18. Public address announcer messed me up. Now have 5 wide here. And another flag.
Penalty marker on the field.
And what's the flag here?
Penalty is
So a
illegal
false start.
against IMG.
3rd and 23 now.
Penalty ball is placed at the IMG 37-yard. 3rd and 23, IMG.
So trips to the right side now. Winston Watkins Jr., the playmaker, is to the near side. He's had a couple great plays in this 35-10 lead that they now have on this 3rd and 23. As Park is pushed down from behind, he'll be short of the 45, and it's 4th down. And a timeout called by Lipscomb Academy with 2:21 to go. They'll get the punting unit out on the field. You can see the players for IMG earned every bit of this win tonight. And you got to give them credit. They have not cramped up at all.
They haven't.
Not many.
They've only had a couple of kids cramp up, which is phenomenal. But, you know, they've been practicing in some insane heat, too. So,
And what many people don't know, and Coach Miller did tell me this, their kids, this is a boarding school. Their kids haven't been there but since the late July. So they've had 3 weeks.
and that makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, Lipscomb's kids have been there. They all live around there.
3rd and 17, IMG.
We got a long trip to Georgia after this one. It's not that far of a drive.
Number 19, Joseph Collins.
You driving?
It's the only way I know.
And Bluden's back to return the punt for the Mustangs.
And there's the punt all the way back to the 6-yard line. And
Bluden's on the return for the Mustangs. Tackled by the Ascenders, number 11.
as Blivens returns it for the Mustangs.
Ball is returned to the Mustangs.
So we got 7 hours, Joe.
Mustangs.
Make it work. Make it do what it do.
Doop, with 2:10 to go. Lipscomb, see if they make some changes here, or we'll keep Deuce Knight out there. Yep, Deuce Knight's coming back out. Again, Coach Mawai was talking about wanting to find his team's identity, and they've certainly put the effort out. And again, you got to commend them on that. They've played hard. They haven't really quit. They've just been out big played as Knight will run with it all the way to the 40 as he keeps it himself. And
He's hurt.
yeah, he is cramping up or something, but he is not coming out of there. And so the Mustangs have it now, 1st and 10 of the 42.
I'm surprised the officials didn't stop it.
And here's Knight. He'll dump it off to the tight end, Andy Smith, 47-yard line. 5 yards on the play. 2nd and 5 from the 47, down to 150. And Noah Francis in on the tackle.
2nd and 5, Mustangs.
And can they get on the board here to end the game? Down by 25. And he was hit as he throws, but he got it off. And who is that masked man? Dylan Lorick, the East Carolina commit.
For another Al White Mustang first down.
And I'll get another first down and move the chains inside of IMG territory to the 47-yard line.
47-yard line of IMG.
Knight. There's a shallow route across the middle. 41-yard line is where Lorick is stopped. I'd love to see his stats at the end of this one. He's got to have at least 10 catches.
Absolutely. He's been probably the most consistent offensive player for Lipscomb today.
East Carolina's getting a good player. Here's Knight. Andy Smith, the tight end, 35. Stood straight up, falls out of bounds as he was tackled. Let's see where they mark him out. As a shoe came off. I think that's the 14-yard line. Nope, that's the 34. As again, another first down. That's the 4th first down for the Mustangs in this drive. There's Knight again, backing up, and he's brought down from behind as he thought he had a little bit more room. And timeout called as he got a yard on that play. And hopefully he's okay getting tackled from behind. That was, again, you're down 25. You don't want him to get hurt.
Exactly. At this point, you know, he's teaching his kids, though, that this is what we do. We fight to the end. And it's a teaching moment. And it's not to be, you know, to one-up the other team. It's just that it's early in the year. You're showing your team that we don't fight. We don't stop fighting until we finish the game. And he's got a lot of starters out there fighting and showcasing what he's talking about and finishing the game. IMG has a lot of subs in the game too, but they still have a few starters in. They don't carry a really deep bench, so their players get to play.
53-man roster.
Yep.
Although 3 of the 4 teams that we're going to see tomorrow have like 100 kids. I literally had to take kids out to fit it on this page, and then it's like 5 font.
Mm-hmm.
So good luck. I hope you still got your glasses, right?
I do.
But as you know, 90% of the kids, 50% of the kids won't play.
Yeah.
Or I'll forget to mention their name. There's 3 receivers at 2nd and 9. Knight going for the end zone. And what a catch by Jack Westlake down to the 2. They got down to the 1 and scored earlier. Can they score here to end the game? Got to hurry up or the game's going to run out. 10 seconds to go. Knight trying to run with it, and he's pushed out of bounds, losing yards.
Knight on the quarterback keeper for the Mustangs. And that's the end of the game.
And that'll do it. Final score in this one, 35-10. IMG, the 3rd-ranked team in the country, pulls away from this one using the big plays as they line up. Joe, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, both teams showed great grit today. IMG a little bit better, a little bit more disciplined, didn't have as many penalties, and the big plays were the difference in the ball game.
They certainly were. Again, let's take a look at some of the big plays here tonight as we have some highlights to look at here in this one. Again, it was just big play after big play. Here's the biggest one to start it off.
Yeah, that bomb kind of set the tempo for the rest of the day as they were able to connect on the big play.
And here's a good kickoff here by Lorick. He's a heck of a player. I can't wait to see him. And here again, Knight running, but the defense, Nathaniel Owosu Boateng, and big hits early on. He thought this was going to be just a back and forth ball game. You can see Deuce Knight showing his athleticism with a big first down there. Again, this was early in the ball game, and then this play right here I thought was the backbreaker in that it put the 8 ball right on Lipscomb as Jarrett Gibson, 56-yard run.
Yeah, it showcased the speed, but his ability to make the first man miss and still get downhill is phenomenal. But this play right here, where the scrambling and making a play, but then the throw itself off the wrong foot into the basket, I think that was the play that kind of opened things up for them today.
Yeah, that too. Made it 21-3 at the half, and then Jarrett Gibson, I swear, hook 'em horns. They're getting a good one.
They are.
And here's Knight doing what he can to just try to get the chains moving after coming short on a 4th down earlier. And then Micah Burton, the lone touchdown tonight for the Mustangs as Bradford and company. That was one of the few lone bad plays. But again, Jarrett Gibson, he had to have over 100 yards easily.
Oh, yeah, he had 2 runs that might have totaled 100 yards
itself.
in the game. Yeah.
And then here's Winston Watkins that put the dagger in. I mean, he literally was jogging into the end zone, and that was pretty much all she wrote from there. There's another great play by Dylan Lorick. He had a heck of a ball game for Lipscomb Academy. And more great defensive plays. Again, these are just some good highlights to see. Again, both teams made plays, but it was IMG that made more here tonight. Final score 35-10 as we'll wrap things up here from the Lipscomb Academy Athletic Complex. This has been an exclusive presentation of Flow Sports. Big thanks, tip of the cap, to Seamus Grady, our producer. Joe Simmons, our color analyst. This is Chris Hooks, as this has been, again, another exclusive presentation of Flow Sports. All rights reserved. And we thank you. Have a great weekend.